Well, as you can see, we're somewhere a little bit different today on Pots and Trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and King Seeds. Hello. Well, you might think I'm sitting in a lovely walled garden today, surrounded by vegetables, flowers, and this beautiful wall behind me, but you'd be mistaken because I'm actually at the Harrogate Autumn Flower Show at Newby Hall in North Yorkshire, and this is one of the feature displays in the floral pavilion here, and it's absolutely lovely. It's been put together by the Yorkshire Pelargonium Society, and the brain behind it all is Roger Burnett and his team, of course. And here's Roger from the Pelargonium Society. Hi, Roger.
Good afternoon, Martin.
Well, thank you very much for letting us have a chat to you. First of all, before you tell us about this, tell us a little bit about the Yorkshire Pelargonium Society.
Right, the Yorkshire Pelargonium Society is based obviously in Yorkshire, the God's own county, but we're based around the Malton Scarborough area. So a number of members, and we have a get together now and again, and we have a little show and do little exhibitions, but we also compete at the Great Yorkshire Show, and we've been down at the Lincoln Show.
You've come over the border.
We went over the border to Lincoln. We did we got the Fraserburgh and everything, so we were okay there. And then we do the Harrogate Spring and Autumn shows.
Yeah.
And we're here at the Autumn Show with a bit of a different display this time. Yeah.
Because normally your displays are just pelargoniums, and
They
you've
are.
got one of your displays is this lovely sort of Victorian greenhouse lean-to full of pelargoniums. So you've extended it, but you know, how many pelargoniums do you grow as a society? Because you've got a huge collection.
As a society, between us, we all have about 2,000 varieties. It sort of goes up and down because obviously you lose one or two and you gain one or two, but we're around about 2,000 varieties of various parentage, a lot of them back to the Victorian days, and we think that what better to display them as a Victorian type plant in a Victorian conservatory in a walled garden.
And your love of pelargoniums started a bit like mine because you were an apprentice on a parks department.
Absolutely, yeah. The halcyon days. I've been an apprentice on the parks department when we used to take up to 30,000 cuttings a year.
Yeah.
And I started doing that when I was 16, and unfortunately I'm still doing that now.
Still doing it, yes, exactly. And the main collection is held with you at your house.
The main collection's held, we've got glasshouses nursery, and that's sort of a retirement job really for me, but I'm looking after that collection. Pelargoniums are split into various sections, so we've got ivy leaves, we've got zonals, we've got sentids, so we've got like, the whole range.
And I suppose the whole purpose of it, apart from the enjoyment of growing them for your members, is to really preserve them, isn't it? That is the thing.
Yeah, the real serious stuff is we really want to preserve those varieties and keep that pool of plants going, maybe for future generations or whatever, for research or whatever.
Okay.
But we need to keep that pool of plants going, and let's face it, a lot of the varieties were bred, in the sort of late Victorian days, early 1900s.
Yeah.
And, we're still breeding today. We still do a little bit of breeding ourselves.
Yeah. And I suppose September, we are now sort of third week in September. Yeah. It's a busy time for you, isn't it, with pelargonium?
Really busy time for us. We're coming to the end of the show season, obviously, so we start now taking cuttings off the main stock of plants we have for next year, because we have to keep a constant propagation program going. And so we're on about something like about 20,000 cuttings at the moment, and we're doing those as fast as we possibly can now into the autumn. The first ones we took a few weeks ago starting to root, so we grow those through the winter, and those will become the stock for next year. And then we replace our stock on a 3-year basis if we can.
Okay, to keep them nice and fresh.
Keep them nice and fresh, keep the vigour there.
Yeah, exactly. But you also sell, that's part of the funding to be able for you to carry on doing what
we sell a few, and we share a few, and we donate a few around the country. So if we're going to one of the larger gardens, we will contact them first and say, would you like a box of pelargoniums free?
Yeah.
And they'll often say, well, we've got some odd ones and rare ones here. And so, it's just that I picked up 3 like that this year. So, that was a really good find for me.
Yeah.
So it's that sharing, and we just want to keep them going and keep them.
And I suppose the advantage of sharing is if you lose a variety, you've got other gardens that you can go to and say, have you got this one?
We're currently working with a guy down in Worcestershire who's got a small nursery, and he's going to keep a mirror collection of some of the ones that we've got. So we'll both have the same plants in mirror collections, and then we will apply for national collection status for them.
Exciting.
And then if he loses one, I've got it. If I lose one, he's got it. So that's the idea.
So tell me, I mean, normally pelargoniums, but this year you've done something completely different because we've got this lovely sort of replica walled gardens. And look at that, what a lovely view there through the garden gate. Tell us a little bit about what you've done here,
Right,
Roger.
the idea was pelargoniums come from a sort of a Victorian era, so the idea was to recreate a walled garden, and we took inspiration from Burton Agnes Hall, where the photo in the back.
And that's
backdrop,
in East Yorkshire,
East Yorkshire, yeah, we took inspiration from there for the walls and everything, so that's all been replicated. And then we wanted a wire sculpture 2 inch, so we commissioned some of those, and then we started to grow veg for it. We thought veg garden, a few wildflowers, you know, what better, as well as the obviously the pelargoniums.
Pelargoniums, then greenhouse, lovely wildflowers.
Yep.
What a view through the garden,
Absolutely,
there, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And then the veg plot here.
Veg have been really incredibly difficult to grow this year, I think, because, well, for one thing, I'm out of practice. It's 40 years since I grew veg. So, you know, I started my horticultural career at home growing veg.
Yes.
And I've gone back to it, really, but it's all grown in pots. And we've grown 3 times the amount that's here, so that we had a few spares.
It must be quite difficult because normally these are veg that, you know, you've got potatoes, carrots, chard, lettuce. Should be sowing them in the spring, but you want them to be at their peak here in September.
What we did is we worked back from the sowing date, from the exact date to the show. We worked back sort of so many weeks as to when we should sow it, as to when it would be mature. So it's worked with most things. We've had 1 or 2 notable failures. Broad beans failed. Peas we've struggled because they got mildew. But the rest of it, it's come together quite well. We've got quite a good supply of vegetables at home now. We're turning into vegetarian very fast at the moment. You know, like I grew 60 lettuce. Why I grew 60 lettuce, I have no idea. When I only wanted 10. But then I've got 10 of the best lettuce. Yeah. So we've been eating the residue. Yeah. So yes, it's been a learning curve again, Martin, I'm afraid. Yes. And we're just relearning all those skills from years ago. Yeah. But it's been great, and I would like to replicate it in spring if I could. Yeah. Which would be a whole different ballgame because
absolutely, yeah.
You've got a very short window of growth in from January through to the spring show in April. And then of course we did some wildflowers. 12 weeks from sowing to flowering, all sown in trays so that we can transport them. Yeah. And we transported them early in the week so that they can settle down, because wildflowers, they will settle in. Yes. If you move them, so they didn't look anything like that when we put them there. Right. So they're improving, and by Sunday night they'll be wonderful when we're taking it down, of course.
Lovely. So just to finish us off, would you give us just a few tips if anybody's got any pelargoniums at home? Anything they should be doing with them now, and how to overwinter them so they can get them for next year?
Normally you would take cuttings sort of April and September, August, September. So I take cuttings now, nodal cutting just below a leaf joint, bottom leaves off a little bit, about 3-4 inches long, into a good multi-purpose compost if you can. Don't use hormone rooting powder. We don't. We take cuttings with scissors. So it's new to me is this, because I learnt that trick because you used to cut your thumb terribly when you were taking cuttings with a knife. So we take cuttings with scissors and leave them without any bottom heat at the moment, but in 2 or 3 weeks time we will put them onto bottom heat as the day length shortens. To get them growing, and then keep them relatively moist but not too wet, and then pot those up hopefully before Christmas, and they will make your plants for next year. Your older plants bring in before the frost, pot up and keep in a frost-free atmosphere over winter. There's 2 things that kill pelargoniums. One is frost and one is damp, so keep them fairly dry over winter. And frost-free, of course.
So if you've only got a few and they're in pots, you could put them in a conservatory or on a bright windowsill.
Yeah. You know, we keep them in a heated glass, but we only heat it. It's only heated to about 3 degrees. We don't overdo it because we like to grow them slowly over the winter. Yeah. But we do keep them dry. Brilliant. And if any sign of yellowing leaves, just take those off.
And if they do die, they can always get replacements.
They can always get replacements from the Yorkshire Pelargonium Society. Exactly. And if anybody has any old varieties or anything like that you might think we might be interested in, please look up the website and get in touch with us.
Well, we'll put the name on the video. Roger, thank you very much to you. I mean, I know you've had a bit of a team helping you with this.
It's a team effort. Ryan, Sheila, Jenny. It's like a social thing, isn't it? Shows. You meet
Brilliant.
people that you've not seen all year.
Exactly.
And it's just great to be part of it.
Looking forward to seeing the spring one. And if you want me to get rid of that old bench for you, I'll take that in
I'm
the
sure
car
you
now.
will. Now that does have to go back into stock, I'm afraid, Martin.
Okay.
If you want a wire gardener, of course, he will be. He's available.
Oh, is he? Yeah,
Yes.
well, I love him. He's amazing.
He
So,
is. Yeah, old Amos.
Yeah. Old Amos.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Thanks, Roger.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember all the videos we've done in the past you can find on YouTube, including the one that came out last week, which is on taking pelargonium cuttings. And you can also find our podcast there as well. We'll be back in the garden next week, so we'll see you then. Bye.